Religion in Primitive Society by Edward Norbeck, Rice University. Religion in Primitive Society, 1961. Might be a lot of conjecture and hosh-posh, I don't know. Studying the Yanomamo, Napoleon A. Chagnon. This is about, let's see if I've got the map here in the front. It's a section right in the center of South America. I found the map earlier. That's alright. Published in the 60s. It's about the tribes in, the jungles in Brazil. They wrote on clay for $1. They wrote on clay. Who's that about? The Phoenicians. This goes with the other book, The World of the Phoenicians. There's a couple of books to read to get some information about the very first society in history that ever put the alphabet together. Albeit the most primitive form, but it's an important people. And I taught that to my students, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old kids. They learned that phone means sound because the Phoenicians put sound with pictures for the same time, making what we know of as letters. And these 8 and 9-year-olds understood that. And they understood that telephone means distance sound, because I taught them some Latin roots. Alright, The Primate's Memoir, a Neuroscientist's Unconventional Life Among the Baboons by Robert Sapolsky. I've never heard of him. He's the author of Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. That'd be an interesting book to read. Published in 2001. So, for $1, gotta have that. For $1, The Eskimo of North Alaska by Norman Chance. Case Studies in Cultural Anthropology by McGill University, 1966. Eskimo of North Alaska. We'll see what's in there. Inepiat, the genuine people. I don't know if it's going to be worshipful and ridiculous, or if it's actually going to be truthful and interesting. Fossil Man, An Evolutionary Journey by Frank E. Poirier for $1. Downtown Manhattan Strand. St. Louis, 1973. Man, the Promising Primate. This is the end of our anthropology section, so savor it. The Conditions of Human Evolution by Peter J. Wilson. Conditions of human evolution. I've heard so many theories about human evolution. The best one I've heard is the caloric theory. Why did we end up standing upright, freeing these hands to be used for other stuff? If that indeed was the turning point, which is seems very important. Why did that happen? Because we use 100 calories to walk a mile. A chimp uses 250 to 400, something like that. Outrageous. They cannot walk. They have to slump over. It was to give man mobility. And what did man do with mobility? He went to every continent, bar none. Every continent, even Australia, with his upward mobileness. So, anyways, that's the best theory I've heard. I don't know what Man, the Promising Primate will be about. Might get to it someday. Alright, end of the anthropology, archaeology section. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, more books, or new books. I'm going to possibly rename these series. Instead of new books, or whatever, I'll call them More Evidence for the Decrepit Nature of Our Society, or something, because what sort of person is choosing the books that go out for $1 on these racks where I keep finding these? They don't have their heads on straight. Someone's got their head on sideways. Something's wrong. But I guess, I don't know. Here we go. $1 for this book, Pompeii. Pompeii is not a person, it's a place. It's a city that was buried by Mount Vesuvius. And I believe around 400 AD. This is in fairly rough shape at the edges, but the binding is in perfect condition, and all of the pages are in perfect condition. No one has even marked any of it up, and it probably hasn't been read, for God's sakes, for $1. There's a lovely picture in here of a roadway with tire tracks, wagon wheel tracks cut down into the stone from the passing of so many wagons. Of course I couldn't find it right now. There it is. And it won't show up for you. That's just one. About half of the book is pictures, the second half, and the first half is text. So that's just for $1. I don't know. Whatever. The Birth of France. Warriors, Bishops, and Long-Haired Kings by Catherine Sherman. This is about the 700s and 800s AD. So after Rome fell, before the Middle Ages really had gotten rolling. And this was published in 1989. That's not on my immediate reading list. I can say that. That's of all the books that I buy. Sometimes I buy them thinking weeks or months I'll possibly pick it up. Sometimes I buy them thinking years, and sometimes I don't know if I ever will. And that one about the Birth of France, I don't know if I ever will. And a book related to that one, since that one's about the Dark Ages in Europe, The Life of Charlemagne. Also about sort of the Dark Ages in Europe, but this was written by one of his a member of his court, so I don't know how good that'll be. This edition was published in 1960. The Big Bend, a history of the last Texas frontier. The Big Bend area is a national park now, and this looked a little gimmicky. This book, but for $1 I couldn't even contemplate not getting it, so I achieved it, and it turns out it's published by the National Park Service, because the Big Bend is a park, and they say they have over 100 books in print as of this one having been printed, each one about a different area of some park in America, so it's got history in it, but it looked a little gimmicky, and it's got a lot of color photos, glossy photos. This next one, just about, it disgusts me that this is available for $1. I have a copy in Utah, of course. The Miracle at Philadelphia by Catherine Drinker Bowen. The story of the Constitutional Convention. She's a theist, and she believes that there is some hocus pocus going on from God, but that doesn't really show up much in the book. Copyright 1966, but this one was published in 86. Fine book there. Absolute must. The next one, I purchased these two separately, and one of these is probably in another video series, but I'm showing it here again. Cities in the Wilderness, the First Century of Urban Life in America, 1625 to 42, and 1625 to 1742, pardon me, and then 1743 to 1776. This one's called Cities in Revolt by Carl Bridenbaugh. For $1 each. These are the first 2 books in a 7-book series on American history, so there are 5 more. I don't know if I'll ever get those, and I didn't realize that these were related when I got the second one after the first one, until I got home and was looking at all my books. The next one, Gathering Storm by Winston Churchill. It's about the Second World War, of course. For $1, why not throw another book on the Second World War in my library. Went through 15 printings between 1948 and 1959. Whatever Happened to Britain by John Eatwell. The Economics of Decline. I don't know how good it's going to be. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about or is a socialist, but whichever. Copyright 1982. We'll see. The Anatomy of Britain Today by Anthony Sampson, published 1965, so I don't know. I just don't know what's going to be in there. This one I saw, and I grabbed it and said, I've got to have that. Culture and Imperialism. What characteristics can you name about cultures that are imperialistic? They are what? And I put on my pile of books, and I